looking at your lawn, so we're going into spring, hopefully, after we get through some cold weather here, but as we get into March and April and things start warming up, you may notice some patterns in your lawn. And that was likely caused by traffic in your lawn. For instance, I know our newspaper delivery person will walk through the yards and you can see that as things start to green up, the path that they took all winter. So you may want to consider either doing some sort of overseeding in those spots, just kind of seeing how it comes out of it, if there was some damage done to the crowns of the plants. But anyway, considering some of that, as we go through the rest of the winter, think about damage that may be done to the lawn as we have some frosty mornings, as if we get some moisture, compaction that might happen to wet areas in the lawn. Those are all things to consider. The other thing to think about, if you have pets, I have a couple dogs, so in our backyard, so that's an area definitely, because we've had such dry weather, that I know that I'm gonna need to do some reseeding in those spots as well. And again, you may want to consider expanding turf areas. If there's a common path that pets may be taking in your lawn, you may think, I'm not going to keep fighting this with trying to grow grass in these areas. Maybe we'll go ahead and turf those spots. If you're going to try to grass certain spots that pets use, you're going to need to think about excluding them from those areas with some sort of temporary fence. You can get snow fencing, that sort of thing, fairly inexpensively. And that'll help kind of exclude those from those spots as those areas recover. But that's the next thing right now is to look at your lawn and think about preparing where we're going to do some work in the lawn as we get into April and May. So as we go through the remainder of our winter, some things to think about is spreading out your snow as you're cleaning your driveway. Try not to have too big of piles. Sometimes that'll cause some snow mold problems as we go into spring. The ice melter you're using, again, if we could avoid getting the salt onto the lawns, a lot of times you'll see the edges along driveways, sidewalks, curbs, and that's hard to grow grass back in there after they've had a concentration of salt in there. So sometimes it takes quite a bit of time to get that salt flushed through that soil, so that's something to think about. As we go through the rest of this winter, think about some of those spots that you want to plan for, doing some reseeding, maybe excluding people or animals out of parts of your lawn, and consider how you're using your ice melt and your snow removal as we finish up the winter months.